Hello, beautiful Earth Angels. My name is Joanna. Welcome to Team Joanna. If you are new, welcome. I hope you stay. I hope you really like what you hear here. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for being back. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. This is going to be a weekly pulse for the week of May 4th. I cannot believe we are almost half through the year. It's crazy to me. It just shows how we are shifting dimensionally, where time as we know it is being experienced differently, for me anyway. Anyway, I hope you stay. I hope you like what you hear. Today's energy feels very mysterious to me. I have to be honest. And I am recording this on May 4th. Because I've released the earth, all the signs just a couple days before. I wanted to give you a little bit of space between messages. So I am recording this on May 4th, and it very much feels to me like a new beginning of some sort. I don't know how to describe it any other way. There's a palatable feeling that is within me, that I'm about to step over an obstacle and find myself in a different space. And whatever this space is for me or for you, it's something I have been looking forward to, or I have been expected. And I'm trying to not overanalyze this with my Joanna mind, because it's not supposed to make sense to me right now necessarily. But there's a certain feeling, and I want to say the word restorative. It's as if we are in a process. I get it. Okay. It's as if we are in a process of being restored to our former self. And the former self is the self without limitations. Woo! This is getting exciting. And I have a feeling, the power of the energy that I feel, because it's very intense, I have a feeling it's almost pliable. I have a feeling it has to do a lot, if not everything, with this powerful moon that we are supposed to have. And I believe it's in the next few days. I'm not an astrologer. And that powerful moon, coupled with all the different things we have been experiencing, somehow acts as a catalyzing agent to almost like propel us forward. And the forward movement is to the unknown. So whatever it is that we are moving into seems to be an area of a lot of unknowns. However, just because it's unknown does not mean it's bad. As a matter of fact, it is the absolute opposite of bad. Because as I'm tuning into this new space where we are heading, I feel apprehension in my chest right now. So for those of you who are sensitives, you will feel it quite strongly. But the more I tune into that apprehension the more I tune into what this apprehension is for me, the more I realize it's just the nature of when things are unknown. But I don't feel apprehension because I perceive there is something bad. In fact, what I perceive is something far better than what I can actually think of right now. And I have that feeling, but I can't perceive it. I can't perceive it with my eyes. I can't perceive it with my physical senses. So because I can't perceive it, there is a bit of unsureness. So what I feel is that this full moon somehow potentiates or makes it more favorable for conditions to come together that will ultimately prove out of people wrong. Now that's an interesting message, because I am not about who's right, who's wrong. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's about who or what you remember. Whatever the space we are moving into, okay, I'm understanding. It's a consciousness. Whatever the space that we are heading into, we've been there before. It's not a space that is unknown to us. It is a very familiar, known space to us, but it's beyond, it's underneath our conditioning. And you can call it on a soul level, you just know that wherever you're heading you're heading closer to home. These messages are really strange today. That's what I'm telling you, these energies are mysterious. So anyway, back to my story. We are being essentially reconditioned or preconditioned or reorganized in order to reach this other space. Except this other space is not a place necessarily. It's a state of mind. And I will say the words, it's as if we are in the process of shifting realities. And I'm going, exclamation mark. So what is it about this week that is so important for us to know? Expect the unexpected. That's interesting. Doesn't mean necessarily anything bad, but expect the unexpected. I wouldn't be surprised if over the next little while, there isn't going to be some sort of a sighting. Call it UFO, alien sighting. And even though they've always been there, it feels like it's coming up, it's recent. So expect the unexpected. Also, the way you think and the way you feel about yourself, it will feel often like someone has removed a film from your eyes and you're able to all of a sudden see much more clearly. And you were not expecting that, but now that it's happened, you can't go back. So this to me speaks of heightened perception or expanded perception. For some of you, I see you looking in the mirror and holding your face, and you're not sure who you're looking at. And I'm going, that would be scary. And then I hear, yes, it is. So some of you may have experienced that already. Some of you will experience that over time. Interesting. I had moments like that, I think. I would say on a mild scale. It didn't freak me out or anything, or at least not bad, but I could see having a moment of looking in the mirror and not knowing who I was. That would be terrifying. I had an experience where I did momentarily forget who I was. For the ego, it's not very pleasant. It is literally ego death when you don't remember who you are. But anyway, why is May 4th or the week of May 4th so important? It's because this week, the next couple of weeks, and I have no basis on saying this other than what I literally perceive. So we'll see in 2 weeks if all of this transpires. But over the next 2 weeks or so, there is like, it's like important chapters are ending and new chapters are being realized. It's as if to say, many of us are rewriting our own story. What does it mean to rewrite your own story? Is to essentially become somebody different. Choose to become somebody different. Choose to express yourself as somebody very different. And this threshold that we're in right now, that feels prickly because it's uncomfortable and it's a lot of scratches, that's a metaphor, and just not comfortable and difficult to deal with. It's like as if this moment was designed like a filter. This moment in time, all that we are experiencing, it's almost as it's been designed as a filter, so that when we go through this filter, this moment in time, we leave our excess baggage behind. And this will mean many things for many people. I feel on a bigger scale, it speaks to one's conditioning, one's thoughts, one's belief systems. And that makes sense to me because over the last several weeks, as we have been told to be inside, many things have shifted in my mind, and I'm sure many things have shifted in your minds too. So because of this virus, Today you are somebody different, and chances are you will take these differences with you wherever you go forward or wherever you go next. It's like this metaphorical screen or sifter or screen, is that the right word? Not screen. Filter is designed to help us get rid of things we no longer need. Whether these are jobs, whether these are relationships, whether these are principles or ideologies, whether it's the way we do things, the way we don't do things, the way we look after each other, the way we don't look after each other. All of this seems to be shifting and changing. So many of you are finding your new status quo. And when we move past this time and space, we are literally becoming a different person. Or the idea here is we can come out as a different person, but not everybody may want to come out as a different person. For those of us, or for those of us who don't want to come out, you will persist on resisting this space. Let me go through some cards. The message that speaks to us, all of us, is actually rooted in the idea of peace. This is, I see it as Mother Earth, and we're all behind her. Hopefully we're all behind her. That's the first message I get. The other message I get is, in terms of our own inner voice, I hear and see stillness. Another message is risk-taking, but being at peace about it. So these messages will resonate with different people in different ways. Another message is trusting the process. Greater inner peace. So there is, we're moving more into, or being encouraged to move into, a space of greater inner peace, a space of greater inner trusting. And for some of you, some of us, that's a long road in terms of trusting the process of something that's uncomfortable. But remember this other place that we are all shifting into, that we will essentially become different people. Or I should say, we will become more of our true selves. That's probably a better statement. That's all what this is about. As I was shuffling cards, and majority of these cards are, that's the majority of the cards I have for this particular message. When I was tuning into our energy for the next week, I saw us looking at a future, but we are in a space of waiting. There was a lot of solar plexus or power center work being done by many of us. Our solar plexus is how we feel about ourselves, how centered we are, how solid we feel within our skin, how in our own power we feel. Solar plexus is important. Every center, energy center is important, but solar plexus is important. And some of you may be experiencing digestive issues over the next several weeks, if you haven't already. Because as we shift energies in the solar plexus, it can, for some, especially the sensitive ones, disrupt or disturb your digestive processes, your digestive organs. So if you're having stomach upsets, or things are just not sitting well, yes, it could be flu, but I'm not getting that. It's just the shifts in energy. It's like, oh, I wish I could give you a more tangible answer, but that's what it is. So just observe that. Look at the next card. It's birth, and I this card keeps coming up, whether it's for the zodiac signs or for weekly messages. It's birth, and I just heard it's birth all over again. So in essence, we are being reborn. Yeah, if you think about it, every time we drastically shift the way we think, we are being reborn. We are basically becoming a new person. So with these transitional shifts, we are literally in a process of becoming different people, except not different new, different more of ourselves, our true selves. So there's a rebirth happening. Now, if you're a female, especially if you've had kids, generally speaking, the process of birth is not an easy process. It's not a very comfortable process either. Right? So we are going through a process of birthing. As Mother Gaia is birthing herself, we are being birthed with her. And I feel like I've said this before. I feel like I've said this a week ago or a week before that. I feel like I've said this message before. Okay? This is the next card. Notice what you see. And what I get when I look at this card is all eyes on you, or all eyes are on you. Make yourself the focus of attention. Make yourself the focus of attention. You decide who you choose to be without letting others decide that for you. Know what you trust and who you trust. Know what you believe. This is important. This is what I get from this particular card. I also get the word observing. Observing, becoming more detached and more observing. Very interesting. This next card, notice what you see. To me, it's a yin and yang. It's could be the sign of Gemini, the twins, the lovers, the yin and yang. To me, it feels yin and yang. To me, it seeks balance. So we are letting go of our imbalance, whatever is causing our imbalance. Like imbalancing thoughts that we often entertain. What is it? Whatever you seek out, seeks you out. Whatever you seek out, seeks you out. And again, the idea of expectations. Whatever your subconscious expectation is, generally you will arrive at having it. Be mindful of your expectations. Be mindful of your expectations. It's I find one of the things that's difficult is how to have expectations but detach yourself from expectations, because it's like, then what does that mean? Does that mean that I don't care? Does that mean that I don't want? And it's like the mind wants to figure things out. The mind wants to attach to things. So how do you have an expectation without attaching yourself to it? Because the moment you attach yourself to something, you are limiting yourself, right? So how do you detach from it? Because let me see if I can say it in a different way. Knowing what you want is very important. But how you want it, let it be kind of the way the universe decides for you. Because how you want it may not be what's best for you. So have a desire, have an idea, have an outcome in your mind, but allow yourself to have more room to something equally as or more. So this is addressing us attaching to certain outcomes, being flexible in what that means. Right? That's an interesting one. Look at this card. It's all about birth to me again. It's predominantly the sacral and solar plexus. Sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra. It speaks to me of birth. Trust in one's own being. Trusting in one's own being. So we are birthing ourselves and more trusting in who we really are. Now that's interesting. It's like we are shifting. Something inside of us is shifting. That makes us know or believe on a deep, deep level who we really are beyond our thinking. And I'm going, that's some pretty heavy stuff. Not heavy in terms of negative, but just like big energy. So aside from this full moon, I wonder if there's other astrological things going on that can explain that, because it's like the feeling of the energies that culminate. It's very culminative energy. It's like things are culminating. So what that means to me is that almost like storm before the calm. Interesting. Storm before the calm. I'm not saying anything bad is happening, not at all. But before we get to this other space, we will have the storm before the calm. And not because something necessarily outwardly is happening, but because our mind becomes very overly active. A lot of it has to do how we give and receive of ourselves. How we give of ourselves, and then how we receive. How we give of ourselves and how we hold ourselves back. And how we choose to give of ourselves going forward. And how we, how do I say it? What we choose to do with all the different choices that will be popping up as a result of what's happening. All these different choices can be thought of as an opportunity or something bad that happened. We're at that space. It's I can't seem to express it any other way, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, I'm not saying something bad is happening, quite on the contrary, but there's some big energies, like there's less buildup of these big transformative energies. Perhaps the Schumann frequency is going to go through the roof again, because it feels so amplified. It's not even funny. Maybe there's some asteroid floating around that is somehow potentiating this energy. I don't know, but this is really powerful energy. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. Interesting how it kind of felt very different. Let me know what you think of this. If it doesn't make sense to you right now, it might make sense to you down the road. Like I said at the beginning, it felt very mysterious to me, and that's how it felt when I was delivering it. So it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. If you would like a session with me, a healing with me, or whatever it is that I have to offer, I would be honored to do that for you, and that information is down below. And of course, I just released the May messages, so take a look at those. And yeah, let me know what you think. And with that said, I wish you best of luck. Thank you again so much for being part of Team Joanna, and see you soon. Take care.